Welcome, everybody, to I'll Hang Up and Listen. What a game. What an effort. With negative headlines going in, obviously, we all know the headlines from Kim Pegula at, I'm not even sure what the hell it was. It was some conference where she was asked essentially, what is it like to be the owner of the Buffalo Sabres and the Buffalo Bills, and her comments made headlines here in Western New York, but we'll get to that in a minute. But let's not let that overshadow the unbelievable effort tonight by the Buffalo Sabres in their 5-4 win over the Minnesota Wild. Getting leads, overcoming deficits, giving up a lead, coming back and winning, just really never, giving up. Yeah, sure, there were some points in this game where you kind of look, there were some mental lapses and some breakdowns, but this team put its foot right back on the pedal and got themselves right back in the game. And of course, second win in a row after the shellacking the other night of the Toronto Maple Leafs 5-1. A huge night from Jeff Skinner, 2 goals, 23 goals in the season for Jeff Skinner. Again, on pace to score over 30 goals, which, again, I've said this plenty of times, would have never, ever, ever expected Jeff Skinner to put himself in a situation, not put himself in a situation, but be in a situation where he might score 30 goals this season. I would fully expect, with 53 games played, just under 30 games remaining on the season, that he should get 30 to 35 goals this year, which, I would have never thought possible to start the season. None of us would have ever thought that was possible to start the season. None of us ever would have thought it was possible for Tage Thompson to be a 30-goal scorer, but he's on pace to do that too. Score 35 plus. Dahlin, 2 points tonight, bringing up to 37 points in 53 games. On pace for over 60 points this season, I would say, with the way he's been playing, especially since coming back from the All-Star break. Craig Anderson, 299 wins in his career tonight with tonight's victory, 29 saves, inching closer to 300. It's so cool that we're going to be able to see him do that in a Sabres uniform too. And the Casey Fitzgerald fight, which is real reality. I know Razor said it. And there's a lot of newer hockey fans that hate that in the game, don't like fighting, just want to see all skill all the time. But you know what? There is a place in the game for fighting. Maybe not staged fighting, but a place in the game where it does get your team, get the blood flowing, get sticks tapping along the boards. And they, when they get after it like that, like I said, it motivates the team, gets the energy at an all-time high again. And, you get the result you got tonight. I think without that Casey Fitzgerald fight, they might not come out with a win tonight. And he's a kid who has answered the bell a couple times already this season. Again, not a guy you thought to start the year that you would see dropping the gloves on a consistent basis for this hockey team. But, that's what you want to see. That's exactly what you want to see. You want players that are willing to stand up for each other, to play for one another. You saw the skirmish at the end of the game with Dylan Cousins. He had to be separated. I forget who it was with, but he had to be separated by the officials at the end of the game. That's what we want to see here in Buffalo. We don't want, we just want that effort, and we want to know that you care. And that's what's most important to us outside of winning, is show us that you care. Show us that you're going to go out there and going to skate your asses off, and you know how important this is to us. You see the attendance in the building tonight. I believe Melissa Burgess might have tweeted this out earlier. The attendance, during the mask and vaccine mandates, which were recently lifted, and the attendance tonight, there was only maybe like a couple hundred difference, if that, in attendance, like the average compared to what tonight was, which is, it's bad. That's bad. It was less than 50% capacity. That's not good. That is not good at all. It's an embarrassing, especially for a fan base like this, which, kind of will transition into the comments from Kim Pegula, earlier today at that conference that Greg Wyshynski from ESPN tweeted out. I have a lot of thoughts on that. But again, to not to overshadow that quite just yet. But I will obviously sit here and go through the breakdown. Tonight's scoring again. I said Rasmus Dahlin with 2 apples on the night. Yeah, Casey Middlestat probably having his best game of the season. I know he's been riddled with injuries, but he had a bounce back game tonight. Looked really good. Looked like the Casey Middlestat that we've seen, bits of parts of last season, and the Casey Middlestat we expected to see to start this season, with a goal and assist tonight, 2-point night. The goal and assist tonight for Okposo, guys, on pace for 20 goals. Guys and gals, we'd have never expected Kyle Okposo to be a 20-goal scorer this year, but he's probably going to be. I believe that was his 14th goal on the season as I look at it right here. He's having himself quite a season. Yeah, 14 goals, 31 points in 49 games. Guys stayed healthy this year. I mean, what more can you ask from the guy? And I've been one of his biggest critics, and this guy's almost untouchable for me right now because what he means to that team in the locker room. What I will say here, though, real quick, on NHL.com, can you guys please update your pictures? They still have the old navy blue jerseys on there. Get it together. Come on, get after it. Get the right jerseys, the royal blue up there. Come on, NHL.com. I know this organization's been embarrassing enough as it is, but can you at least get the right jerseys on your website, for fuck's sakes? Also, points tonight going to Tage Thompson, continuing just his absolute tear league. Victor Olofsson getting an empty net goal. Padding those stats, baby. Absolutely. Keep padding those stats for trade deadline day because get out of here. Get the best return you could possibly get for him. And then Peyton Krebs getting on the score sheet tonight with an assist. That Tage Thompson Skinner tuck line again looked very good tonight. Tuck, I think that guy did everything he possibly could to score or at least set up a goal. And I know he didn't have an assist on the one goal, but his hard work and his ability was really what led to, I believe, one of the Jeff Skinner goals. So I think it was, I want to say it was one of the Jeff Skinner goals, but Tuck played a huge role in that. And then this team going up 2-1. It was tied at 1 after the first. They go up 2-1, go into the third period with a lead, and then the floodgates opened in the third period. They gave up 2 quick goals. They're down 3-2. Come back and tie it. Go up 4-3. Go up 5-3, and then Minnesota tries to make it interesting there at the end, making it 5-4 with about 35 seconds left. Kirill Kaprizov, one of his 2 goals on in the game. And but Buffalo is able to close it out, get the game in the garage, which that's like the big thing for me tonight is that this team has fallen into so many bad habits this year. The inability to finish off games, play full 60 minutes, and maintain a lead in the third period. Granted, they gave it up tonight, up 2-1. Gave up 2 quick goals there in the third period to go down 3-2, but they didn't give up. Casey Fitzgerald gets in that scrap. Really helps, gets the guys, motivated, and they really put their foot on the gas and scored 3 unanswered goals, one right after the other. Jeff Skinner again getting 2 goals. Victor Olofsson scored on the empty net to really seal the deal for Buffalo. That's huge, especially on a team like this that's really trying to find its identity. And you have those games earlier in the season where you just can't seem to get these games in the garage. Wins like this, wins like the Toronto game 5-1, where you just never looked back after getting that lead. That is so integral to establishing a culture and identity for this team. And I really do believe after these 2 wins that you're going to see a different Sabres team here. I'm not going to say you're going to see them really, push to win. I'm not saying they're going to go out and beat Vegas on March 10th during the Jack Eichel homecoming ESPN Plus game, by the way. So a lot of eyes will be on that game all over the country, all over North America. But I would expect the fact that they've been able to do this 2 games in a row, get these games in the garage, not give up on themselves, I would expect to start to see a different Buffalo Sabres team than we've seen earlier in this season. Granted, the season's essentially lost. I know that's their 19th win. They go up to 19-30-8. Minnesota before tonight's loss was 32-18-3. Those are two really good hockey teams that you just beat in a row. Granted, you beat backup goaltenders, but you want to know what? This team lacks a lot of talent compared to the teams they've been playing, and they come out with wins. So I'm not want to hear about backup goalies because, look where we are in the standings. And that's no excuse for me. I don't care if you're playing Peter Mrazek or Jack Campbell. I don't care if you're playing Cam Talbot or I forget the pronunciation, Capo Kakinen, who had 33 saves tonight on 37 shots. I don't want to hear it because you want to know what this team has been on the wrong side of talent for each of these last two games against Toronto, Minnesota, and they came out on top. They found a way to finish these games off in the third period, hold on to leads, and come out with a win. And I honestly believe that if you would have had the goaltending earlier in the season, if you would have had Alex Tuch to start the season, I do believe that, you were probably like, I'm not saying it's going to be, a huge difference in terms of their record, but you could be looking at maybe a 500 hockey team here. You want to be looking at a team that's probably going to finish in the bottom of the league again. Truly true to believe that better goaltending, average NHL goaltending would have made a huge difference all season this year. And let's face it, Craig Anderson, before the last two games, hasn't, been on top of his game, but he played fantastic tonight. He played great against Toronto. So keep giving us those performances, and let's at least, even though we're not going to be looking at playoffs this year, we're going to be sellers at the deadline. This team's going to look different. Maybe you see some faces come up from Rochester, whether it's Jack Quinn or UPL, whoever it might be, JJ Paterka, whoever we get to see come up from Rochester post deadline. I just want to be able to have more games like tonight where they're skating their balls off from the minute the puck drops, and win or lose, like you come out of that game knowing that, okay, we're heading in a positive direction. We're heading in the right direction. There's more positives to take from this than negative. And then you go into next season or the draft or free agency, and you know what holes you have to fill, and you know what you have in the teams and the core that you have right now. In your Casey Middlestats, your Peyton Krebs, your Alex Tuchs, Rasmus Dahlin. There's some guys probably on the fence right now. Your Jacob Bryson, you don't sure if he's going to be here next year. Anders Bjork probably won't be here next year. But the core players that will be here, your Owen Power, your Kyle Okposo should be here in my opinion. Jeff Skinner, Tage Thompson, and Cousins. You know the list of players. Samuelson. You know what you have in those players. You know what holes you have to fill, and you can address those holes, and you can be confident in the team that you have and the culture you've instilled in those players in that core, because that's going to go such a long way. This needs to feel like a family to these players, and it's starting to look and feel like that to me, at least. So that's just my thoughts on tonight's effort and how well they played. Again, there were some minor breakdowns. The power play looked a lot better tonight. I believe they might have even had 2 power play goals. I'm taking a look at that right now. I believe, yes, 2 power play goals tonight. But just special teams on teams like this is integral. You have to be able to capitalize on your special teams opportunities, because 5-on-5, most nights you're probably not going to be the better team. So you have to take advantage of it when you do get power play opportunities. Buffalo did that tonight. So a couple clicks for them. To wrap things up here, we obviously all know the comments made by Kim Pegula earlier today. I'm looking at trying to find the conference this all came from. Let me look it up here. Give me 1 second. Okay. Sorry guys, sorry for the hold up here. I'm just trying to find the exact tweet. Um, 1 second. Okay, here we go. So from Greg Wyshynski earlier today, she said that there isn't a ton of crossover between Buffalo Sabres and Buffalo Bills fans. And she's referring essentially to, um, you know, season ticket holders. Season ticket holders, fans that subscribe to or have season tickets for the Bills don't necessarily have season tickets for the Sabres. Which, yeah, I understand that, like, that's the context within the conversation. But why is that? Like, on the pregame show the other day, Vinny made a great point that when you have a sellout at Highmark Stadium, you have roughly like 75,000 fans there. You are roughly getting 10% of those fans down at KeyBank Center a night right now for attendance, which is roughly around like 8,000 fans. And that's pathetic. That is really, really, really bad. That's a bad look for this organization, for this team, for this hockey city, a city we used to call hockey heaven. That's not a good look. It's a terrible look. But why is that? Why is it that there isn't a ton of crossover when you think that what you would assume, Judge talking to your friends, fellow Sabres fans, that they are all Bills fans. I'm a Bills fan. Okay. I mean, I have season tickets, but I do know a lot of Bills season ticket holders that are also were Sabre season ticket holders. So why is that? Why is there not as much crossover as you think? Is it a financial thing? Is it a time thing? Sabre seasons are a lot longer. You have a lot more commitment in that. Whereas the Bills season, it's 17 weeks in the regular season, 16 games played in 17 weeks, and then you have the playoffs. So obviously, the Sabre season is a lot more of a commitment than the Bills. Well, I really don't think that's it, and I know a lot of people agree with that's not it. You know what it is? It's the fact that this team has been an embarrassment for over a decade. You're on your sixth head coach. You're on your fourth GM. You've had now 4 picks in the top 2 of the first round in the NHL draft since this ownership group has taken over. You've had Jack Eichel, Sam Reinhart, Rasmus Dahlin, and soon to come Owen Power as soon as his college season's over with. So you've found ways to screw that up, having all of that to build around. You weren't able to do it because you were hiring the wrong people. And then you yourself decided, well, I'm going to run the day-to-day operations of the team. That was a mistake because you've alienated fans time and time again and taken us for granted. And now you're seeing it in attendance every single home game. I mean, restrictions were lifted tonight. You're coming off a huge win against Toronto, where there was a lot to be proud of in that game against a team that used to be a huge rival with, one of the better rivalries in hockey, right down the QEW. You think piggybacking off a big win like that, you would try and get some fans in the building, especially after COVID restrictions had been lifted. No masks, vaccine mandates, lifted. No, attendance was the same. It was the absolute same, and that's sad. That is pathetic for a city like this. So why is it happening? It's because of you, Kim Pegula. It's because of you, Terry Pegula. It's because you have the inability to recognize and identify with the fans in this city and realize what we want, which was a hardworking hockey team and a franchise that cares about its fans. And that it isn't just, and I know winning fixes everything, but it's everything that surrounds the rink too. You just don't, it just seems that you don't care. Excuse me. The in-game presentation is pathetic. I mean, like, the Vegas Golden Knights were a hockey market that didn't exist 5 years ago, and now it's one of the most thriving and exciting hockey markets there is. The in-game presentation that you see, happens during games. Fans are always engaged, whether the game is winning or losing. They're always engaged. You need that down at KeyBank Center now more than ever, and you don't have it. You don't. It's sad and it's pathetic. If you know you have a team that's going to struggle to win, you should be putting as much effort as you can, or putting people in charge that are going to put as much effort as they can into making sure that game experience, that in-game entertainment is going to be clutch. Not have these same house bands. Nothing against Geeks Gone Wild. They're a great band. I've seen them live while at games. They are a phenomenal band, but you can only bring those same bands in and recycle them over and over again. For fans are going to say, like, we want something different. They say on other podcasts, I've heard it too. It's like Sabres fans, we're smart fans. We're not stupid. We notice things as they happen around us, and one of the things is their lack of attention to detail, the lack of attention to you, the fans, and it's just been mediocre, less than mediocre for years now. I mean, that arena needs serious renovations. I mean, you've had all this time during COVID. You had, I don't know how many months, almost a full year, where you had nothing going on in that arena, and you didn't put any effort into while you taking advantage of all that time that you could have had and gone and maybe just replace the seats. Make it, if we're going to be miserable, while we're losing, at least we're comfortable. No, they didn't do that. Because all their interest and focus is on the other team, the Buffalo Bills, which are thriving. And you know what? That team has always thrived. It's impossible to lose money with an NFL franchise, but they're always thriving. Always. Whether they're winning or losing, they're thriving. During the drought, I remember still going to games in November, December, where the season was essentially lost, and it was still 85% full there. Because we care, because they were so good at selling hope with those Bills teams. They always try to find a way to sell you on some hope. Finish 7-9, 8-8, always be in the hunt. So it makes you like, I got to go to this game because we're not out of it yet. Got to support the team, and it's only 16 games compared to 82. So you just have to put that effort into the 41 games at home. Make us feel like we matter. You're starting to see it with the on-ice product. You're seeing a culture being built, but you got to start building around that, and they just don't. And that's why you don't see the crossover. You just don't. So with that being said, guys, I just, I yelled about it a lot earlier. I'm like I said, I'm sick of it. I'm sick of, and she was due to get behind a microphone soon anyway. She's always said, she was due to say something stupid and moronic, and she did. She did. Whether she meant to or not, you did. It's just, read the room, read your fan base. You had to have imagined while saying that, or at least maybe hope after you said it's like, yeah, it's probably not going to go over well. Yeah, it wasn't going to go over well. You just essentially, insinuated that, Bills fans and Sabres, they're two separate entities. Well, in some respects, yes, but we all support our teams. Maybe not to the extent where we have season tickets for both teams, but there are a lot of people that I do know that did have season tickets for both teams. And you want to know what? They canceled their Sabres season because this team was a friggin' disgrace. They were a disgrace. They've been a disgrace. An absolute disgrace. So yeah, Kim, I can see why you only have a 10% crossover or whatever the number was, is because you just give us nothing worthwhile. You don't give us any return on our investment. Even if you pay all this money for season tickets, at least back in the day, you could at least maybe sell a couple playoff games and make some of your money back. Toronto and Montreal fans laugh at us now because we can't even make the money we used to make off selling those tickets to them up there to come down here. They laugh at us. We can't even get the value of those tickets back. And it's pathetic. How can you expect to sell season tickets when by this point in the season you can't even give your tickets away? Don't talk about selling. People don't even want it for free. So I'm not going to sit here and listen to this garbage. Take a look in the mirror. You guys are the reason why it's like this. You're the reason why that number's so low. Put the effort in. Yeah, it's just you want to feel like you matter. You want to feel like appreciated. And it's just nothing even close to that. Got a few comments here before I get out of here. 1 second. Hey, they beat a good team tonight. I can honestly see the end of the tunnel finally. I mean, I don't know if I'm there yet for the end of the tunnel, but yeah, 100%. They did beat 2 good teams in a row. Same thing, the Dominator 39. By the way, I love your handle. Love your handle. Love it. Comparing Vegas to Buffalo is like comparing a club to a church. Agreed. Absolutely agreed. One's loud and pumped up every night, and the other one is like you hear a pin drop. So that's what we want. We just want to feel like we matter and that we feel like you're putting the effort in, and we want to return on our investment. We want to come to games and we want to feel like we're getting a return. Even if we're not winning, at least we go in there, we're entertained, and we haven't been entertained for a decade. Not since we sold everything from Ryan Miller to Marcus Foligno, those, and the rest of those glue guys that came in and played the way you see a Dylan Cousins play, the way you see an Alex Tuck play, the way you see a Jeff Skinner play. We got rid of all those guys. And then you brought in a bunch of young kids and just expected them to take the reins right away and didn't establish any other new leadership or glue guys. Like back in the day, you had your Danny Briere, your Mike Greer, your Jochen Hesch, those guys that really came in and all had a role to play. We even had those guys up until now. So, yeah, man, like it's hard. Like, I can see why there's just no crossover. We just wanted the return on our investment, and you haven't given it to us, Kim. Where are you? Bring it back. Hashtag where's Kim? I hope this has started something good. 2 games in a row, 2 really good performances. I want to keep building off that. So with that being said, guys, I'll hang up and listen. Remember, this is brought to you by Outlet Liquor, the place to buy a case. Get over there on Georgia and Boulevard. Go out night in town with your friends, or game night, game day. Pick up a few drinks. Tell them 2 goalies with Mike from Trademark Sports sent you. And remember, please, if you like this video, hit the like button. Please subscribe to us. It helps us a lot. Get us noticed out there in the world of hockey podcasts. We are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube, or anywhere where you get your podcasts here. And please make sure you check out Trainwreck Sports on all those platforms, as well as the Dean Blundell Podcasting Network. A lot of great shows and content from both those guys. So I will talk to you guys later. Again, please, if you like this video, hit that like button, leave a comment. Appreciate all the support and all your advice. You guys have a good night, and let's go Sabres.